Good evening, everybody. Let's see. We got in the chat Marianne Bimler and Heather Landskron. That's it so far. Hopefully they'll start running in here soon. Well, I guess I better wait until people start coming in here a little bit before I start telling anything. Not that it's exciting. Hey there, Adventure Awaits. That's Chris, my buddy. We got Rebecca Touched by Yarn. Good evening. I'm happy to hear that you're going to get your car work done. There's Leonard Mountain Homestead. And they were on earlier today. I can't remember. Was it 4 o'clock? 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock they were on. There's Sherman Family Farm. Good evening. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming in. Let's see. It's 5 Central Standard Time. Butler Family Farm. Good evening. Tonight is an open mic, and I've got that at the top of the chat. Okay, there's enough people in here to get started. I have fixed the kitchen pretty much. I'm actually beyond what it was before it got hit by the car. So we're going to be putting on the flooring tomorrow, which was we never had flooring on it. It was always, because this was a workstation room, we just had the plywood floor. But now we're all hoity-toity and we're going to put flooring on it. So we got, there's James Hall and David Moffat. Good evening. And I just saw Todd Laginus. And yeah, so it's nice to have that done. I'd like to completely finish it better than it was before it got hit by my car, so that we can have Christmas out here, Thanksgiving. I do have to. There's a stack that comes down on the counter that has all the electrical and plumbing running through it, and I have to redo the shrouding that goes around it because it really got knocked off, and I had to just rip it out because I didn't know if there was any damage on the with the gas lines or the electrical or the wire line. I had to make sure it was good, so I had to tear it apart. There's Petite River Homestead. Good evening and welcome for coming in. So it's really been nice this week to watch all the stuff going on in the political world. Not that we need to talk about it, but everybody knows what's going on, and I'm pretty happy about it. Some of the people that were chosen for positions this week were pretty cool. There's Lori prepping for heaven, and Christine, Mrs. Gilm Farms is in here. Thanks for coming in. Johnny coming. Is Johnny still up in that deer tree, or is he coming in? Because I haven't seen him all night yet. He'll have to come in and do his apology. Oh my gosh. Hey, how you doing?
Good, Brian. How you doing?
What's up?
Well, I've been, typical watching politics, and I'm not a happy camper with what some things have been going on. I got to put a little light on the subject because I'm
very respectful if you're going to talk politics.
No, I'm not going to talk politics, but I've been watching what's going on, and there are certain things that have been I understand why they happen, you know, but I also understand why we need to pay attention to it.
That's right.
Anyway, so I'm going to ask you a question, Brian. When you get a project going on, how do you stay motivated to get that project finished?
I don't know because I've been having real problems with motivation lately. uh, how do I? What? I don't know. If it's got to be done, I just make myself do it.
I
So
I have I have so many different projects going on. See if I can change the way the camera looks a little. I have so many projects going on that it's just like, all right, which one do I work on next, and where do I start? You know?
I know the pain because right now I just got a brand new lathe and the tools to go with it and the jig to sharpen the tools and everything you need to. The only thing I need to do is get a grinder. But there's no excuse. The tools already came sharp, so I could at least get started. Um, and yet, when you got too many projects in your head, you tend to not want to do any of them.
Yeah, that's my problem. I have too many projects, and it's like, okay, which one do I do next? How do I go about getting in it? Let me see if I can dim this light a little bit because I'm looking awful pale. I'm not really white. I am, but I'm not that white. All right, well that's probably better.
Go
But
from
yeah, I mean, you know, I've got this like project of a garage I want to build,
yeah,
and the way to make that work is to be able to go out and have a bunch of fill brought in. I reached out to people and said, okay, how do I get the fill pretty cheap? And it turns out that I can get it like less than a quarter mile away. But I was just like, okay, that's one project. The next project is take everything out of my garage, put it into this new building. Of course, that new building is going to be like $20,000 with flooring and stuff. And I'm like, all right, how do I get everything out of my garage into that so I can tear the garage down to get
yeah,
access to the new building? And it's just like, oh my God. And that's just to get my wood shop set back up because I have projects I'm working on right now that my employee really didn't do me favors. He went in and worked in my shop and he left a mess. And now I have to go in and I have to clean that mess up. I don't even know what he was working on most of the time, to be honest with you. So I have to go in and
well, I thought you were going to go to Arkansas.
I want to go to Arkansas, but this would be the next step for my property. You know, my garage is not a good garage. So this would give me a good garage. So when I sell the house, it raises the price, the value. But I'm also working on projects in my house that I need the wood shop for to be able to finish. So I don't know, you know.
Yeah, I always said that if I were ever to start a new property, I would build the shop first. I wouldn't
Yes,
build the house first because you can live in the shop or camp in the shop or whatever, and
yep,
then you'd have a place to build your house.
absolutely. That's what I was thinking too. That would and it's not that expensive to put a shop in.
You know,
I was thinking that too. That would be my first move as well. You don't need much for a kitchen if you're only there by yourself. And you only need so much room to be able to put a bed or whatever in there with maybe a dresser or a couple totes. And just say, okay, I can come down here, I can work, and then I can go out in the shop and be able to put some walls together or whatever, and then take them from in the shop out to where your build site is or whatever, and be able to make it work. That was my thought as well. That's
yep.
actually still my thought.
You could even build your shop and then pull in an RV and live in it while you're building your house.
Yes, yes. Or just park the RV next to the shop and have the shop be the place where you have access to your water and whatnot. So you can just like get it to the RV. and then the shop can eventually become part of the house afterwards. That's kind of where I've been leaning.
What's that all about, Pooch?
I think the right way to run it would be to say, hey, if this is my camper next to my shop, but the shop has access to water, electric, and even possibly sewer, then the camper's got water, sewer, and electric as well. And then when you get to that point where you're just saying, okay, I don't need to live in the RV anymore because I don't need this to be the shop anymore. Now that shop can become part of the house.
Yeah.
You know?
Who did DJ Turner Rue came in here? Hello. And I think I said Petite River Homestead. Yeah, those are things I think about, but those are just fantasy things because I'm going to die right here on this farm.
Yeah. Well, my thing is that, I wanted to get jumped onto it right away. Because then I realized it's not going to happen tomorrow.
No.
My house isn't done. My garage is garbage. And until I fix those two things, then I can't even sell what I own. So I don't know. It's a toss up.
I guess you just got to get on the project and get started. First thing I would do is I don't know. I just grab something and start working on it, and that'll be one thing out of your way.
Yeah, well, I'm in a 1900 farmhouse, and nothing's square, nothing's done right, and I just have to say, okay, what part am I going to work on next? It's kind of an issue because in a 1900 built house, nothing's right. Everything is absolutely wrong. As a guy who did construction, I'm like, okay, well, I don't even have a square corner to start with. I don't even have a flat stair to start with to redo the stairs or whatever. Everything is so wrong in this house. And I know I can't do it all, but I can at least do some of it and make it better and improve the value of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Tish and Pooch. Or Tish and Pretty and Pooch, or Tish and Mike, whatever way you want to say it. You know.
Hi, Pretty and Pooch. I actually wish I had a good contractor in my area that didn't charge a fortune, which they all do. You're in my area. You're not far out of it. I wish I could find a good contractor to just come in and say, okay, you see on HGTV, I give you $100,000, come in and fix everything. Ain't going to get it. Ain't going to get it, which is terrible. Especially for me, because I've been a contractor all my life, but I'm not capable of doing a lot of things that I need to do.
Is it next week? Is next week Thanksgiving, or is it the one after that? This is November.
The one after.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The 28th.
I'm kind of looking forward to that for some reason. I mean, for some reason, but I don't know. I just started thinking about how I was looking forward to that today. I might even. What is everybody else having? What is everybody doing for Thanksgiving? Anything good? Anybody going out of town or?
Yeah, well, I'm not going out of town, but I'm going to my 89-year-old mother's house for a ham dinner.
Sometimes we have ham and turkey.
There's only 4 of us. We can't do both.
But my vote's for tacos and burritos.
Yeah, I would like that too. I mean, hey, I have no issue with doing tacos or burritos for Thanksgiving.
Well, it's been a tradition for a long time that we have lasagna for Christmas dinner.
I like lasagna if it's made right.
Oh yeah. I've seen some people's idea of lasagna, and I'm like, oh, that's not the way we make it. Our lasagna is thick. It's at least 3 inches thick.
Yeah,
And it's loaded
Yeah.
with everything.
I've seen a lot of people's idea of lasagna that is only like 1 inch thick and barely
It's got
any
orange sauce
cheese.
on it, and you're like, ugh,
Yeah,
okay.
what are you serving me?
Spaghetti.
Noodles.
Yeah.
I'm not a big noodle fan. I'm a big cheese fan with the meat and the sauce and all that stuff. I'm not a big noodle fan.
Thundersticks going hunting. Well, maybe you get a turkey. But if you get the turkey that day, it's a little late, isn't it?
I'm not a big turkey fan either because if I eat turkey, it puts me to sleep. So now I got to take a nap. A ham fan, yes, because that doesn't put me to sleep.
That lasagna's killer, Tish. It is killer.
I have seen people that do Thanksgiving where they do like seafood, and they do like, hey Bob or Bowen, how you doing? I've seen people where they go in and they do seafood and they got shrimp cocktail to start with, and then they have scallops, and then they come in with like a lobster tail. I'm not a lobster tail fan. I like scallops if they're cooked right, and shrimp scampi and I are good friends. Any way you look at it, shrimp cocktail. But I'm not a lobster fan. I guess I can eat it once in a while and say, yeah, I ate it, and life goes on. But that's like once every 3-4 years. But I've seen people do that for Thanksgiving.
Bowen, he's doing good. He's right here. You can't see him because he's dark as can be in the video. He just he's sleeping like he always does.
He's a dozer.
You're not a turkey fan?
I'm not a big turkey fan. I'm not a big lobster fan. I'm actually a pretty fussy eater, believe it or not.
Pooch wants lobster for Thanksgiving.
My mom is a lobster lover, and I'm not. I used to buy it for her, and it's like, okay, this is your dinner. I'm going to sit over here and have my ham sandwich or tuna fish.
Prime rib would be good too, Pooch. I'm coming down to your Christmas dinner. Because I know you've got the patio off your barn to do it on. Someday I'm gonna sit on your patio, Pooch, and Pretty. I'm gonna eat spare rib, prime rib.
All right, Bobby, you can live on lobster. I'll buy you one, and you can let me live there.
Buy you one what? This is an open mic, people. Anybody is welcome to come in.
I actually like the area where Bobby lives.
Yeah.
Southern Gene River Homestead. I like the area where he lives, and It's not that far away from David and the rest of them. My problem is that you got somebody that's a landlubber that likes lobster.
Bowen.
Yes, James Hall. Prime rib is excellent. Prime rib is excellent.
Oh, my dad did up some ribs last week. Actually, he did them up last week and the week before. And man, those were really good. They were just loaded with barbecue sauce. And he did some, I meant to ask him what he did to it before he put the barbecue sauce on it, but man, those were good. We'll definitely have to get some more of that.
Another one I really like is a brisket. If it's done right.
I hear Pooch does a mean brisket taco.
I want to go to Pooch's house and find out if I can eat one and find out if it's pretty good because I would love to have that.
Ham and corn is good for me. I don't need all the turkey and the stuffing.
Joe Jacobson, I agree because the turkey will put me to sleep and the stuffing will overfill me. Although the problem with corn is your body doesn't really digest corn. It takes the sugar out of it and then it throws the rest of it away. So there's really no healthy part of corn in your diet.
Why not brisket taco, James?
I agree, James. It sounds freaking awesome.
Actually, for Thanksgiving, the one go-to that's big for me is the stuffing and gravy. I love stuffing with gravy and rice with gravy, turkey with gravy. Put gravy on all of it. Just get the whole plate and then gravy all over everything.
Yep. If it weren't for gravy, we wouldn't be able to eat it.
No, it just makes it. I just like gravy on my stuff.
Oh, Bowen, come on now.
What did you?
True.
Brisket taco is a waste of good brisket. Oh, I don't know. You might have to. Have to. Not tell Pooch that.
I'd have to try it. I'd have to try it and say maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to be.
I think any kind of taco is going to be good. I don't, I've never had a fish taco. People talk about fish taco, and I don't know that. I mean, I guess I'd probably like it, but it just doesn't sound good.
Oh, Bobby, I could make that for you. I'm pretty good at making split pea soup. Actually, I was thinking about making that for lunch tomorrow. Well, actually, for dinner tomorrow night. So I could do you a good split pea soup.
There's Barely Word Works. That's Chris, and he's the one that does the tops. He had a live going earlier, and it was a competition between the tops that he's made. That was kind of cool. He's got some really nice looking work.
Pretty Pooch, don't do fish tacos for me. I want your brisket taco. I don't want no fish taco.
I don't know. The shrimp taco sounds kind of good. We got another person in the green room. There's Bowen.
All right, I'm gonna let you guys go.
No, hold on. You stay right there. I know you're real alone.
No, that's okay.
I just had to say, you cannot cut up brisket like that, dog. You can't just be chopping brisket. That's why you got like eye around.
Did he just leave? He could have said goodbye.
He didn't even tell a story.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? He didn't even tell a story. Anyhow. But no, I'm just playing. People can do whatever they want with their brisket. No, I'm just tripping. Hey, I
Well,
got a question. I got a question. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Mm, Sorry. Ignore my hair. I just got a haircut.
yeah.
I got new hats. That's the yeah. I got new hats. What do y'all think of the hats? That's the question.
Oh, you got new hats.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. What do you think about them?
Looks good.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna wear it along with my shirts, and if people like them, maybe I'll offer them. But I just wanted one of my own hats. But anyhow, how are you, Brian? I did want to say hi to you, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, how you been?
I've been doing fine. I've actually been getting, everybody knows that I have trouble getting myself to bed at night, and I think I've been doing pretty good. I've been getting around 6.5 to 7 hours of sleep in the last week. I mean, this
Nice.
every night this last week, and it's actually starting to feel good. Like I feel like I can go through the day now without taking a nap.
Awesome.
So that circadian rhythm disorder is not fun.
Yeah. And how's Dexter? Has he been on the ATV?
He doesn't worry about sleep. He just sleeps all
No, I
the
said,
time.
has he been on the ATV? I knew you were saying you
AT.
wanted to take him on the four wheeler.
Oh yeah,
Four wheeler. Has he been on that yet?
he's been on that. In fact, the other day I went to go get the tractor and I had him with me, and I opened the door of the cab tractor, and he jumped right up in there.
Awesome.
I was like, I kind of felt like he would, because he jumps up in the car pretty good.
Right?
In fact, he, like, my sister was getting ready to leave and he wanted to go with her. Jump up in the car. He's a lot more different. A lot more different.
Yeah.
He's getting a lot better about his insecurities and stuff. He's him and Papa have bonded very well, so I'm very happy about that, because Papa decided that he wasn't going to get another dog, and it's good. It's just good that I can have the dog, and they have a relationship together.
Awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Awesome. Awesome.
It's Yeah, he's doing pretty good. I still there's one thing he does that I don't get. He can sit on my lap all day long, whenever I sit down or whatever, but I go to want to pick him up and he cowers on me. I was like, you were just sitting in my lap and now you're afraid of me? But it must be the
It
Chihuahua.
might, or a habit. Maybe a habit.
When I get off he's in my lap, and when I get off the couch, he
Right.
instantly runs and jumps in his couch.
Huh.
It's just he has some funny characteristics that he does, that's for sure. And as soon as he sees me try to videotape him, his ears go back and he automatically acts like I just beat him. Well, I cannot get him on video very well at all.
Yeah. No video.
Speaking of fish, I am traveling on an all expense account this week, so I can group with lumps. Oh my gosh, I should have never started reading that out loud. Crabs and shrimp. I'll just put it up there. Carrots.
Oh. That sounds good.
What? Yeah.
What David said. Or
Yeah.
typed. So anyhow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anybody
we
go check out Bailey Woodworks, people. He's got some pretty cool stuff. He does his lives. His lives aren't like this. He actually spins tops on his lives.
nice. Nice. Well, Don, I gotta dip out. I got
Alrighty.
a long day.
Well, you have a good night and thank you for coming in.
You too. Everybody take care.
You have a good one. Bye now.
Bye, guys.
Yep. So what else are people doing? I can't drink alcohol. Makes me very sick with a major headache and next day. You know, I used to drink alcohol just fine, and now I just try to stay away from it. I'll have it once in a while, and then I'll quickly get kind of sick of it. Let's see. Who else? Did I miss anybody in the chat? Got oh, it looks like I got everybody. So how's that that spray fixer working for you, Bailey? And how durable? Have you ever mentioned how durable? How long does the super glue last on those tops? Is it really durable? Once I get started on my lathe, I'm going to go right straight into making some Christmas ornaments because obviously it's the time of the year for it. And I need to get those type of videos out soon so that by the time people start wanting to make stuff and looking it up on YouTube, they can have those videos out. You don't want to wait till the last days before Christmas. People have already done what they're going to do. But yeah, I got it all set up, and I was going to actually work on some of it today, but I got involved in the floor pretty solidly and on the kitchen where the car hit the kitchen, and just didn't get to it. And I went in and got ready for my live and fixed the dog food, and by the time I knew it, it was already time to do my live and watch other people's lives. Fixif. Spray is not as effective as I had hoped. Well, I was thinking that you would use the fixative to between your layers of the colored pencil. That way it would fix it in, and then when you went to go put your super glue on or finish it however you're going to do it, then it wouldn't bleed. Although I don't know, I kind of like the bleeding. I like how the colors bleed together. I did too. You were the first person I said hi to, Heather, up in the top of the chat when I opened. Hi again. I know I did. I'll go back and watch it. There's a Musgrave Family Farm. I think the CA glue has some kind of chemical that just dissolves the fixative. Well, that's a possibility. I didn't know how it would react to other things. I know I took some black and white photos when I was in college, and I used permanent marker on the photos to colorize them. And then I sprayed it with that fixative. And when it landed on it, it kind of just created this even tone texture over the whole picture. It was awesome. Really turned out nice. Let's see. So, actually, MT Homestead mentioned it in their lives tonight. But the other day, there's a tree that fell down next to our, the road, and I went out to check to see if did the telephone company come and cut it down, or did it fall down? And it fell down, and they must have cut it up some. But on top of it was this picture, this platoon picture. So, and it did have some information with it. So I sent it to MT Homestead, Terry, and asked them if we could do some cross references to find out who the owner of this picture is, because I could imagine that they want it back, because I must have fallen off their vehicle unintentionally. I would think. They did mention it might be an ex-girlfriend. That I've kind of heard stories like that before in the past, where he chucks his stuff out the window. Who knows? We'll find out. We'll find out whose it is and make sure it gets back to them. Because I know I would want it back. And I wasn't even in the military. This is an open mic. You can come up and chat with me. Hey there, Old Man King Homestead. Did I say hi to you? Now he's on after me, so you're going to want to go check him out at the 10 o'clock Central hour. And glue. The glue lasts forever. It's funny because I've tried using super glue from time to time throughout my life, and I've never had success with anything gluing together with super glue. I don't know what I was doing wrong, but it seems like it was all on me for some reason. See, I don't know if it is. It's actually, the platoon was stationed in Oklahoma, actually. This was kind of funny, knowing all these Oklahomians. And so I don't know if it's local. Oh, look at who finally decided to show up.
Speaking of Oklahoma.
What's that?
Hold up. Let me fix something here. All right. I said, speaking of Oklahoma.
Yeah. What's going on in Oklahoma?
Oh, we have a church group, and since we sponsor a church group here in our home once a month, the church had a big banquet tonight to basically thank everybody that has groups and helps the church, and is the greeters, the people who run the daycare part and all that stuff. So anyway, it was really nice. We got free dinner, dessert, entertainment. It was really nice. So hey, Lori, and there's James Hall and Bobby. Hey, Bobby, good to see you. Heather, thank you, Heather, and Leanne, thank you. And there's Evelyn. I'm sorry. Hey, Evelyn. So,
Lady Gunther is in here. How long has she been in here?
well,
No.
I don't know.
She just showed up. She just showed up.
I just saw her there. So I just walked in the door at the house. I have not seen anything you've even talked about yet. So I have no idea where you're at. Hey, Rebecca.
I was just talking about lathe stuff and glue and
Oh yeah,
fixative and
man, that's riveting stuff. Just, I mean, that glue, that'll just stick you to your seat right there, and you'll just listen.
thanks. Well, we'll see once I get started. I have to stop talking about it and do it.
Show me the picture.
Of
No.
this picture? Is this what you're talking about?
Turn it over. Hey, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, I know if I lost that, I would want it back.
Wow.
And I was like, it was just sitting on top of the tree. The tree was cut up and in a pile, and it was just sitting there.
Tell me about the picture. Tell me about it. I don't know anything about it. I just know it says Oklahoma. It's got okay.
Okay, it's about what I've found it out by the road is what I was telling the people before you got here.
Oh wow.
There was a tree that fell down and the telephone company came and cut it up. Well, I went out to check and see what I was going to have to do to remove the remainder of it. And that was sitting on top. And there's an empty frame that was with it. And in the back,
Yeah.
it has some pretty good information on who it could. Well, it's got his name. His name is Christopher Sola or something like that. And the platoon was stationed in Oklahoma.
Wow.
So
that is so cool. Right around Veterans Day.
I don't know why in Oklahoma. Well, he could be from here and was stationed in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So we'll find out. Mike from MT Homestead said he would run it through and see if he can find, because there's some process of elimination information there that they could probably figure it out pretty easily.
Hi, Heather.
I'm hoping he's local, so I don't have to mail it out to him.
Yeah, I'm wondering why it's out there.
Well, Terry said could have been some girlfriend that had his stuff and chucked it out the window.
Well, it could have been, you know.
I don't know why, but that was the first thing I thought of when I saw
mean,
it.
that's not something people usually just throw out.
I don't think it was thrown out. It probably came off and landed somewhere in the yard, and somebody put it there, hoping, because it was set up on top of the tree. It wasn't just strewn across the yard.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it could have originally been thrown across the yard, and somebody else found it and goes, "Oh, this shouldn't be."
Somebody was probably walking by and couldn't really carry a picture around, so they said, "Well, if I put it on this tree, maybe somebody's going to come by and take care of it."
Right. Well, I'm glad it's indoors and stuff right now. Anyway.
Yeah, it's glass because it could have easily broken. I mean, I have no idea. I guess we'll find out the story when we find out who he is.
Did somebody hit the tree? Is that what the story was?
No, it was a tree totally unrelated. The tree was just an old tree that needed to go, and it finally decided to go on its own. And it might have been entangled in the power line or the telephone line, and then they must have come and cut it up or something, because whatever happened to it, we weren't around to see it.
Oh, okay.
But it was clearly fallen over on its own, and then somebody cut on it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's cool.
I'm glad. But like I said, that is a neat story. Having that picture. I mean, I don't know anything about the picture, but
It's from
I
07.
know it means something to someone. There's someone somewhere that would really mean a lot
Yeah, they're
to.
probably, well, if it wasn't the girl, well, even if it was a girlfriend threw it out, he's probably saying, "What did you do to my?" What did you do to
Yeah.
my love?"
Right. Yep. And Leanne said she said hello to you when she came in. So,
Well, I hope we find. I couldn't imagine we wouldn't find him. I mean, it's in Oklahoma. Mike and Terry are in Oklahoma. He knows a lot about the military.
yeah.
Or he's got access to a lot of information, so I'm sure he could find it.
Yeah. I mean, Mike was stationed here, but I don't think he's not from Oklahoma. He's just in Oklahoma.
No,
And
but he worked,
he worked at McAllister Army Ammunition Plant. But which I've hunted a few times, by the way. There, it's a draw only hunt, and it's only for, you can only use recurve bows and longbows in there. You can't use compounds and things like that. So it's traditional archery only. And of note, a small note, I have taken 7 deer from there using a recurve.
Oh.
So over the years. Pretty neat.
Well, it's got the platoon name and all that stuff. I mean, all that's on record somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
They're called the Death Dealers.
Yeah.
It's in Fort Still.
Yeah.
No.
Fort Sill.
Fort Sill.
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Yep. Yep.
And the picture's from 2007. So
Which
it's not that old.
Which video would that be, Lori? You talking about when I was down in McAllister? That wasn't this year. That's been years back. That was before my YouTube days, whenever I was doing all that stuff. So, what was really neat tonight is we had entertainment from a guy who said he makes his living from social media. And he was a comedian, right? And his name, I believe it was John Munch. And so we go like, YouTube and stuff like that. Yeah. So we looked him up. And we're like, well, you ain't making your living from YouTube. I can tell you that. So, but of the deer I got this year, you got to wait, Lori. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to tell you if I got a deer, Lori. Here's how it goes. Even Christine probably wouldn't know if I got one. Let's just put it that way. Just wait. We'll see what happens. So anyway, but I was like, he makes his living from social media. That's really cool. I mean, he was telling me, he was telling everybody, how he gets all his money from social media, content, subscribers, things like that, his views and everything. And I looked on there. That's what I do. I pull people up. I just pulled them up right then. I looked at it and I go, well, maybe it's TikTok and Facebook and something else, because it's not YouTube. I can tell you that. Lori's not patient. You're going to have to be patient. So, but anyway, but I did put out a video today, Lori, if you want to watch that one. I mean, I haven't put out, it seems like it's been forever since I put a long form video out, and I put one out today, and I've got another one in the works. That the one I put out today was hay, cattle, things of that nature. So, because our last deal, Hoorah, talks about the drought that we've been through 2.5 months, 0 rain. But I made a living out of drag racing 2 out of 40 years. That's pretty cool, Bobby. I used to get a what do you call that? A tax thing from the drag strip as well. So I used to have to claim my racing on my taxes. Didn't have a choice but be patient. Joe Jacobson, that's a good one. Saw a doctor a while back, and he told me I didn't have a choice but to be patient. He was the doctor. Yep, be the patient. You know, what's really funny is doctors, they consider that a practice. You know, you go in to be practiced on.
Yeah. I don't know.
So, but anyway.
Seems like all they know how to do is put that thing on their arm and your arm and go, okay, you're done. Bye.
Yeah.
I'm actually a very boring patient. I don't have, and I'm not going to complain about it, but I don't have anything. I just go for checkups.
Well, that's good.
I don't have any prescriptions. I don't have any high numbers or anything like that.
That's awesome, Brian, because, you know, I've had the doctor do that to me, and then they'll look me square in the face in the eye and go, are you feeling all right? Let me do that again. I mean, what did you see, Doc?
The pressure was high.
Yeah, the pressure. Yeah.
Excellent drone footage. As always, Johnny.
Thank you, James.
All.
Yeah. Thank you, James. I try with that stuff. You know, I was talking to somebody about editing I said something about editing the other day, and people were telling me they don't edit. I said, you can't help but edit if you're using like 3 GoPros and a cell phone at the same time making videos. 3 GoPros, a drone, and a cell phone, and you're making a video with it. There's going to be editing. So
I was watching a video the other day, and this guy made a noise, and just use your imagination. He said, "Excuse me," and kept going. He was just nonchalant about it. He didn't think it was funny or made a joke out of it or nothing. And then he just kept going. I was like, "You could."
It was an actual video. It wasn't a live. It was a video.
It was a video. I was like,
snip.
You could have edited that out. I mean, it was like being with somebody and they did it, and then they say, "Excuse me," and kept going on with the video. Says, just edit that.
Yeah. Snip. Hey, Dale. Dale's editing. He said, struggling with this computer editing. I love computer editing. Love it. Man, everything is so big and right here in front of me, and just, it's easy. I can't figure out how to get YouTube to hook up to my camera and mic. On, when you say camera and mic on what?
Struggling with the computer editing. Like what? What are you struggling with?
Well, I mean, I can tell you one thing. Christine can edit a video on her phone. I mean, she just sits there, like, she'll be laying on the couch and I'll be watching TV, and she'll edit a video on her phone on the couch, and she just seems like it's easy. And then she goes in there and gets on her iMac, and she's always, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you do this? And I'm like, man, she said, I know how to do it on my phone. And it's what you get used to, you know. But
I don't know. My first 20 long form videos, I did all on my iPad and edited it and everything. And you know, when I went to what was it, Bar Run Forge the other year, a year or so ago, I tried to do one because after doing it with my iPad and moving on to my computer, and I have the same computer you do, I just got so used to the computer, and you know, because I was out and about, I wanted to edit something. I was like, I don't even know how to do this anymore on my iPad.
Yeah, it's to me to do it on my phone is not super easy to me, but to do it on the computer is just a breeze. I mean, it's just like flies. But yeah,
How could you never edit? You got to edit to some degree.
there are some people who have channels who have never edited a video. And if you really look, you'll see. I mean, there's a bunch of them out there. So, I mean, a lot of them. But anyway, so we got Bobby, who's never edited. Lori was going to do a live stream test, but it would not work. So she couldn't get her live stream to hook up to her camera and her mic. So I'm taking you have an external camera and mic is what I'm getting out of that, instead of just using like what's on your computer, because that's all I use is what's on the computer, what's on the GoPro, etc., etc.
I didn't even officially say hi to 9 Acre Family Farm. Sorry about that.
And Rebecca hasn't edited. Hey, Dale.
Hey, I figured
So,
I'd take time, but I don't know. You know, he was asking about what takes longer. It's kind of like what Johnny said. Like ever since I started editing with my phone using KineMaster, and it takes whatever. Like if it took me an hour to edit a video before, or a couple hours, you can take that times like 3 to do it on the computer. It just takes me forever to do anything. Like you gotta copy it and then paste it in your computer. Then once that gets all done, going through all your footage, then you got to go in your editing software and you got to import it into the editing software. And then it's just hard. It's like 3 steps more than what it is to do it the other way.
It
to do
is.
everything. I mean, it's just so much harder than the old style. And I'm just really struggling with it, you know?
Yeah, the difference is there's so much more that you can do on a computer than you can do on a phone as far
okay, so I've obviously picked the wrong editing software. There ain't half of what there is to do with on this
Use
one.
iMovie. iMovie is easy.
Well, my computer's not an i. Not an
It's not an I.
no.
Yeah.
It's Windows based. It's a Lenovo. So I'm using CapCut's
a lot
what
of
I'm
people
using.
go with that
And
one.
a lot of people use CapCut and they just brag about it, but it's just like, you know, I don't know. I'm just not used to it. And I'm 2 or 3 videos into it now. So it'll get better, but it's just, I think I need a mouse instead of using the mouse pad on this laptop. For one, that's what it just seems like it's twice as hard to do it that way. And
Yeah, get yourself a mouse.
Yeah, get a
and then
mouse.
when-
Get a
when-
mouse.
yeah, when your file, when you put your SD card in the card reader from your GoPro, instead of it just being you got to like scroll and look through it. It's not like,
Oh, well, it is now 10 o'clock Central, and it's time to close this video or the live out. And I want to thank everybody that came into the chat and my moderators for protecting my channel. Thank you for David and Johnny and Dale, and that's all of them, right? Coming into the panel. So next week, Wednesday, 9 o'clock Central. Bye for now. Good
Night, y'all.
Bye. I didn't realize that